For this ranking I'm considering the technical skills that are needed for choreographies which are mainly built on street styles, which are now often referred to as open style or just choreography. Because of this, a background in street styles is particularly useful to authentically dance the moves while staying close to their original meaning. For example, Love Me Right incorporates elements from locking. To get a better understanding of the elements that I will, or will not, evaluate, you can watch the video that is linked above. Chanyeol can follow choreography, but he hasn't developed a proper foundation to really rely on as a dancer. This is the reason his dancing can look uncoordinated or awkward. Because he struggles with details, he seems to be better at wider, less intricate moves. Isolations and stops are not clean, the intention of some moves gets lost. He moves in a disconnected way and appears rigid, which limits his possibilities as a dancer. In my opinion, the impression of being an awkward and stiff dancer is not primarily due to his technique. Visible lack of confidence and hesitant movement contributes to the way the viewer perceives someone's skills. Suho's dancing has improved compared to his debut days. Back then, he was just trying to keep up with the choreo instead of really dancing in an expressive way. Now, he has more of an understanding of dynamics and accents. Because he is still lacking control, he is inconsistent when it comes to the amount of power he puts into moves. Because of that, parts of the choreo are lacking precision and energy while others are overdone. Chen has a level of technique that allows him to execute any EXO choreography at a decent level. Groovy choreos suit him better than control-based ones. His isolations are sometimes lacking and he always keeps his arms close to his body rather than extending them. Due to his lack of stable alignment, his upper and lower body are not well coordinated and he gets into uncomfortable positions instead of relaxed and supported ones. Do is probably the grooviest dancer in the group. He stood out during their debut days and has always been a very promising dancer. He uses his control and sense for rhythm and dynamics in a musical and harmonious way. His posture limits his range of movement. Angles and isolations can be somewhat messy. In recent years, his focus has been on his successful acting career, which probably means that he spends less time practicing for performances. His dancing has become a bit underwhelming, probably due to this change of focus. I think that he has unfortunately never really used the potential that he clearly has. Si-hoon, who has a lead dancer position in the group, has a clean and organized way of dancing which fits the style of most of EXO's choreographies very well. He pays attention to angles and isolations. However, there is a reason many describe his dancing as stiff. His technique evolves around constant tension to ensure control. It looks like he is dancing each move individually rather than connecting them. Depending on the choreo and music, this can look good. For groovy dances it doesn't look musical and messes with his sense for rhythm and timing. There is no inherent flow to his dancing. His footwork is often unbalanced. Baekhyun keeps most of his weight on his left leg while his upper body remains stable. Si-hoon shifts his weight back and forth. He loses balance and struggles to slide his right leg back. The move is less defined and precise. Baekhyun is a very efficient dancer. He uses appropriate amounts of energy for each choreo, not less or more. He avoids tension and has a good sense of balance and weight shifts. He can keep this level of technique in fast-paced choreography. While he is not a groovy dancer, he is able to adapt to those parts of choreos. All of these factors contribute to the elegant way of dancing that he is often associated with. He has a solid foundation in the elements needed for typical boy group choreo. However, he hasn't showcased skills beyond this and avoids dancing full out. I consider Xiumin to be a very well-rounded dancer. While he doesn't have as unique of a style as the two above him, in my opinion his technique isn't far behind. R&B and chill hip-hop choreos suit him the most due to his tensionless and groovy style. Xiumin has a strong foundation which makes it possible to adjust to all sorts of choreography. Non-dancers often underestimate the amount of effort needed for relaxed but precise dancing. He has a light way of moving and puts less force into arm movement than most male idol dancers. Because of that, he can easily apply subtle textures. His precision and commitment to details is somewhat inconsistent. He hasn't showcased notable skills outside the typical idol repertoire, and while he is well-rounded, he doesn't really have standout strengths. Kai is known for his jazz and ballet background, however he stopped actively training in these styles when he joined SM at 12 or 13 years old. Still, they have aesthetically shaped his dancing. Now, explosive strength and sharp moves are his signature. His artistry and recognizable style has influenced many idols. In this video, I'm only assessing technique and therefore functionality. It might be somewhat unconventional to put Kai in second place, so let me explain. Highly stylized dancers are often less balanced because they focus on perfecting their strengths rather than on looking like everyone else. Kai has many strengths that are useful for open-style choreography. He has a hip-hop foundation and can utilize different grooves like bounce and rocking. His approach to groovy choreo is always more control-based than flow-based. Kai can use contrasting textures to create a dynamic performance due to his high level of control. A choreography consists of different moves that are connected. The quality of the connection determines how fluid and harmonious a dancer looks. Kai pays more attention to the moments A and B than to the way in between. This makes him able to hit all of the angles, but lessens the quality of the movement in between. He never really lets go of the tension, which can make him look like a string is pulling him up. Sometimes, this can fit the musicality and intention of the performance, but it shouldn't be a permanent habit. He has a habit of dancing with a rounded back and hunched shoulders. It gives a closed rather than open impression and prevents him from using his full potential. I think that Kai picks and chooses which elements from different styles are necessary for his vision, for what he wants to bring onto the stage. On one hand, it prevents him from technical improvement, On the other hand, every dancer would look similar if they just learned the same technique, and many dance styles wouldn't exist without people who just went their own way. Therefore, this needs to be understood as an analysis that shows the limits of his technique, but it doesn't mean he has to improve if his intention is this specific aesthetic. Lay is known for his smooth, street style-oriented dancing as well as his crumping skills. He is constantly challenging himself by going on shows such as Street Dance of China, and his ongoing dance journey and improvement is admirable. My focus here will be on technique rather than his freestyle improvements. Lay has a high level of body control and his dancing always looks clean and structured. He has good muscle support. Because of that, he doesn't avoid strenuous positions such as wide leg angles. This physical strength makes him appear light on his feet and he can execute quick footwork effortlessly. The choreography for Veil showcases a lot of different skills.
Yeah.
While he has a better understanding of release than Sehun and Kai, he still has some noticeable tension when dancing slower or relaxed choreography. That makes me think that part of it might be due to SM's training style at the time. I believe it's also due to his habit of using his arms in a way that is typical for Crump. I don't want to dive too deeply into his crumping skills, but I want to show how his interest in Crump shaped his dancing. While he has shown basic crumping during his debut days, he has improved drastically in the last couple of years. Crump elements are often included in EXO's dance breaks and sometimes choreography. His form or alignment changes depending on the style. Hunched posture is typical for Crump. EXO's growl choreo takes inspiration from Crump mainly in the form of jabs. This is why his arms might seem a bit strong compared to the mood of the song, but it's the way Crumpers would execute it. Beyond that, Lay often executes choreography in a Crump-inspired way. I will show examples from Lucky 1.